Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. Whoo! You guys ever have those nights? You know, the nights in Rodanthe or whatever. Like, no, I mean, the ones where like your day is kind of calm and chill, and then all of a sudden, everything comes together at night. It's like, holy shit, I got a bunch to do really quick. And then I got a shower. Damn it. So that's how my night went. Our kids, they're homeschooled, right? But we still do like school pictures. You know, you basically just take them into one of the area schools, and they get included with the other kids to do school pictures. Because otherwise, like, what? You just take them with your phone, I guess. Oh, hey, you just take them with your phone. I have to reset. No, of course, you get the little, like the printouts, and you can hand them off to grandma and grandpa and all that stuff. All right. So that's like tomorrow. And then you realize, like, well, oh God, they all have to have like outfits, and you have to make sure they showered like today because kids, man, kids. Anyway, it all got hectic there at the end. What am I talking about this for? You guys don't need to know this. You go to hell. You go to hell and you die. Now sit down. All right, we're talking about some stuff that I've been wanting to talk about quite a bit tonight, and we just haven't gotten through to them on the other shows. So this is the roundup. This is the roundup. To do that, this is we're going to be talking first. We're going to open up with Shadiversity and the drama that hit his channel. I don't know if you guys know Shadiversity, but he's a man in a fantasy land, a country that doesn't exist, or maybe New Zealand. I don't remember which one, but he's over there in that part of the world that's under the disc, and he has like swords and a castle. And he's like, does medieval things. And he's really just all around a genuinely pretty interesting and cool dude. Talks about medieval history, talks about, you know, how weapons work and how they're actually used and the quality of, I don't know. He made nunchucks out of fucking hammers. Okay. He made nunchucks out of claw hammers. All right. So if you have any idea how YouTube works, it works like autistic magnetism, where people like have similar ideas, and then they're like, and they're hyper focused on them, and people are like, wow, this is cool, like swords or whatever. And they go, and they're all doing math, and they get clumped together in this bubble of social media. And then people like, oh, wow, there are other people who like something as much as I do, unreasonably so, and want to talk about it constantly. And then, you know, people come and watch, and then they get bounced between all these channels. And it's this neat AI mind control bubble that Google has developed to keep us all, you know, in the peanut stands while they make billions of dollars selling us stuff that we already buy from advertisers who think they need to advertise to us, like, you know, Coca-Cola, where it's like, well, we already buy that, but they do this, and it's a beautiful business model, and it's become very, very popular. So in this autistic magnetism, I'm coining this. This is my phrase. You can't use it. It's our phrase. You want to end up bringing people together on commonalities, but the AI algorithm, which is actually just an Indian guy with a binary equation to determine if he will poop. I don't know if I can even shit in the street or in a toilet. And he's just pressing yes or no, right? With the sweaty meme. That's actually just combining things that people are interested in, and it completely ignores places where they disagree, even vehemently so. And it ignores things like personality. It's just like, oh, you like legal mindset. You probably also like legal bites. And you're like, well, maybe, but these two things aren't the same thing. So it combines things that are alike, but ignores where they're dissimilar, right? And so while I was gone, something happened. And I've talked to Shad on stream once, I think on my channel. I've talked to him on Sargon show. He's super nice, cool dude. He's also an author, and he's kickstarted a comic or a graphic novel that involves like knights, go figure, chopping people up, which is cool. And I think like some Jesus imagery or something, because of course it does. Anyway, he happens to flow in circles that some would consider like right-leaning or even just conservative or traditional. I think the man has like 36 kids or something like that. He might be Mormon. I'm pretty sure he's Mormon. They're all Mormon, aren't they? They're Mormons all over YouTube. I keep waiting for them to come across like their channel on a bike or whatever with a little like a shirt and a tie, telling you the good news of how Jesus showed up in America. Is it the same for Australians? Anyway, so he's kind of like this very traditional, down-to-earth guy, big on family values. And not everybody's like that these days. I don't know if you know that at all. But not everybody believes in like traditional families or kids or marriage or anything these days. And that's actually becoming way less and less of a political position, left versus right, and more of like just a personal ethos for all different reasons. Some people like really value family values, but also think that they're impossible to maintain in present day. And other people just don't value family values at all because they want their freedom. And some people are like, well, family values are bad because they hate gay. Like it makes you hate gays or something, which doesn't make sense. Anyway, Shad just seems like a normal kind of traditional guy. Oh God, I said normal. And not everybody in the sword community is like that. Because if you have a sword, you want to stab things. And sometimes when you want to stab is a butthole. And some people don't appreciate when you put a sword in a butthole, they think a sword should go in a front hole or a bonus hole or whatever. Not a butthole. And this guy, Scala Gladiatoria, I guess is his name. I think that's his name. He's another weapons guy, really big channel. And he just decided all of a sudden he's not allowed to like Shad. And I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why like someone's like, you're not allowed to like them. They're like, oh my God, I didn't even know. Let me change my opinion immediately. And you're like, well, that's weird. Like you were getting along with him. Everything seemed fine. You've met and stuff, but now you're not allowed to like him because someone else said so. You're like, yeah, that actually seems reasonable. So anyway, he denounces Shadiversity. We're going to look into all this stuff and kind of take a peek, but it's this weird thing. And so this isn't like abnormal, right? Like this happens all the time. So this isn't news. I mean, it's news if you care about swords and stuff, but it's not news generally on YouTube. I've talked about how communities like break down and divide, and they go through this like cellular mitosis or whatever constantly, and it's a fucking nightmare to navigate. It's a disaster, and I hate that aspect of it. I really do, because I actually don't care what other people believe. I care how they treat me and treat like the people around me, right? Like that's kind of what I care about. Their doctrinal beliefs, their ethical principles, their morality, as long as they're not overtly, stamping people out and getting in the way of people doing things. I mean, I don't really care. We can have disagreements over stuff, even stuff that I really do care about, like abortion or like marriage and family, voting rights, immigration, stuff like that. We can have disagreements over, and it doesn't bother me. I go, I didn't always believe the same things. Maybe they'll change, maybe not. I know they won't change if I go, well, you're an evil loser for believing something different, so I disown you. I know that will never be convincing or compelling to someone, so I don't let that bother me. But other people do. That's not new. That's not even weird. What's weird is, so I don't know anything really about this community other than I know Shad, and I've probably seen a video or two from the Scala Gladiatoria guy, because swords and hammers are funny. But there's another guy in there called Metatron, who I hear is super cool, super nice guy, cool dude, down to earth. And he's also a sword bro. And that's fine. But I have no familiarity with Metatron. But on my Twitter feed, Metatron made a public statement. Fine, like after a day or two of silence and meditation, with his sword held across his lap, his eyes raised to the infinity of Avalon or something, he made a statement. And how do I word this? All right, I grew up in the 90s, okay? Like as a teenager in the 90s. And things that are cool now weren't cool in the 90s. And somehow they became cool. And they always like, let's not push this around too much. They always were cool, but it was really lame that you could do it, right? Like cup stacking. Cup stacking's pretty fucking interesting, right? Like they take a stack of cups and they're like, and they build a tower of Babel and then they shut it down immediately. And you're like, that was fast. Or a Rubik's Cube. You take a Rubik's Cube and they're like, oh yeah, done. And you're like, wow, I have to punch you on principle, but that was awesome, right? So the internet and stuff has made stuff kind of cool that wasn't. And that's how I feel about Metatron's posts. Like reading it, I'm like, this is really genuine and you seem super sincere, but now I need to shove you in a locker like and wish for Mussolini to come back or something. I get because I read it and I'm like, this is bonkers to read. This is the pinnacle of swordtism that could come through. And I'm like, bro, this is a Twitter post. Like, it's not a role play. Like, you're not LARP. Are you LARPing? I don't know. I actually am very confused about it. So I want to go through this with you guys just because I found it funny. And you might not. Like, you might be like, what is this? This is stupid. I don't care about this. This is retarded. I hope Nick dies in a fire or gets hit by a car like Gage Grosskreutz or whatever. And like, you have every right to wish that, but I'm still going to drag you through this thing because I'm reading it. I'm setting up in Nashville. I was actually setting up for my show in Nashville. The one live stream I did, and I'm like looking on my computer and this thing popped up on Twitter and I'm like, what is this? And it's this big post. So we gotta go through it because I just was like, this is so gay, but so cute at the same time. So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna move into that topic pretty quickly. Like I'm already doing it. That was not the preview of the topic. That's the intro of the topic, but I'm realizing I haven't talked about the other things we're going to talk about tonight. Ray Epps, we're going to get to. I ranted a little bit about Ray Epps last night, but we're going to hit Ray Epps with a little bit more detail. We're going to do a police violence thing. That'll probably be after the first hour over on Rumble. We're going to watch a cop shoot a guy like in 5 seconds. So if you don't want to see someone get shot, I'll give you a warning about it. I really don't want, I'm not trying to glorify anything, but this is the news. And the police lied about this encounter, as we've seem to see them lie about some other encounters. So we're going to talk about it. But again, that's probably going to be after the first hour, just incidentally. And then Candace Owens gave a 2-minute lecture on tribalism today that I found wildly enlightening. And if you know my opinion of Candace Owens, you know if I found something enlightening, she didn't mean to say it. Or do it or demonstrate it. It's actually an unintentional consequence of her just opening her mouth. And we got to talk. It's about Russell Brand. I'm not trying to hammer the Russell Brand subject anymore until more information comes out. But her take on Russell Brand is so categorically demonstrative of everything fucking wrong with social media and how we talk about and assess situations that it made me want to scream. So, and that I'm probably the first man that Candace Owens has made want to scream in a long time. But again, she didn't mean to. So we're going to talk about that as well. We may hit another couple things. Like I may eventually get around to bitching about Oliver Anthony and how much of a weirdo that guy is. I know you guys might like him or his music. I don't care about him. And I think he is emblematic of everything that is wrong with, again, this culture fight. And it was highlighted to me on Instagram, actually, again, by accident. Some Instagram reel was showing black people listening to Oliver Anthony, and they were all like calmly ejaculating into their pants over the lyrics of the song. It's like, everyone loves Oliver Anthony. His song resonates with everybody. And I was like, yeah, so it says nothing. Cool. Got it. All right. And that may be harsh for people to hear, but we're gonna stick with it. And eventually when I talk about it, either tonight, maybe tomorrow, we're gonna do that because it is one of the most seemingly astroturfed marketing things ever, where everybody's like, I love this. It's so great. And I'm like, oh God, please no. Please stop. So, but you guys can all like it. Like, and again, when I people miss this about me. When I criticize stuff and say it's bad, like Star Wars or whatever, I love all sorts of shit that's terrible and bad. You can like something that is bad. You can like something that has like a bad message or is some like vanilla mealy mouth bullshit or whatever. Like you can like I'm trying to think of a comedian that you can like that's garbage. You can like Nick Rekieta, like that's fine. You can do that. But I'm still gonna like criticize the ideas and principles behind it. And there's lots to like about stuff that is highly critiquable, but it doesn't mean it's immune from criticism. And when it's made immune from criticism, we need to start asking questions as to why. And when neither side seems to be able to effectively criticize it, that's when I'm going to come in and definitely do it. So we'll hit that as well. Let's hit the early chats that came in. And then I'm going to try and have this show done by 2. So I can get right to locals tonight and then do the local stream. And then I gotta get to bed early because we have a really busy day tomorrow that starts a lot earlier than my days have been starting. So I do have to keep it a little shorter tonight, giggity. But we're going to get it. We're going to get the topics in. We're going to get it done. It's going to be, I'm planning on a full like 3-hour show, but we're going to try and move it along faster than I normally do. So, all right. Let's hit it. Jason of TGA says, when I was 7, I made nunchucks out of potatoes. Surprisingly effective. Only against the Irish. He also says, as an Australian, can confirm prison colonies get Stockholm syndrome, so Mormons probably like Australians. Lick Australians or like L-I-E-K, like Australians. He also says, Candace came across as base and red-pilled for Anons, but proved herself enslaved to Con Inc., the antithesis of based, as wise men Bush said, fool me once, whatever. That was good. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. What's new with the Monty lawsuit? Nothing specific. We are appealing the decision, but the appeal itself, the like actual appeal document, has not been filed yet. So, but yeah, once there's an actual update with details to that, I will cover it. But right now, there's just not really much to do other than say we're appealing the initial ruling of the judge. I'm not going to say what grounds it's under because I don't want to leave something out or add something in. Again, I hired lawyers who are experts in this field for a reason. And if I tell you why I think it's being done, then I'm giving you my opinion. And I'd rather to defer to the experts on what actual grounds there will be to do that appeal. But as soon as that is drafted and filed, we'll cover it. We'll go through it. And that's that. But for now, we are appealing that decision. Again, it's really easy to like yell at a judge's ruling and stuff like that. And it's also really simple to say, I think there's some misapplications of law that occurred in a few places that are critical. And having those addressed at the appellate level is important at this point. This doesn't happen like this type of lawsuit doesn't happen with these types of facts. So having, and not in the Eighth Circuit or whatever. So having that, hammered out is kind of an important point. But we'll get to that when it happens. KCC says, I'm here for Paul Prediger or Gage Grossencrap grifting his GoFundMe for getting hit by a peaceful protester in Wisconsin. Irony. Yeah, we'll probably cover that because it's very brief watching him get hit by a car, but it was pretty funny. Brack says, what did the judge rule? I'm out of the loop, I guess. No, this is the initial ruling. We motioned for summary judgment. The judge said that she was not going to do a summary judgment ruling at that time. Instead, she would wait until the close of discovery to do that summary judgment ruling. And there are issues with that sort of application. And with that, she also said she was not going to apply Colorado law and some other things, which would have enabled the anti-slap. So again, the specific appeal points, I'm not going to get into. I'm going to let the experts speak, and we'll cover them after they do. But that's the gist of it's the initial ruling where we filed for a motion for summary judgment, applying Colorado's anti-slap law to this because he clearly forum shopped. Also, it seems to have completely lied about his residency being in Colorado. He said it was in Illinois. And by the way, his GoFundMe page lists him as residing in Colorado as well. Shocker, because his lawyer lied under oath to the court, which is funny, but okay. So did you lose? No, the judge said she's just not going to rule on summary judgment until the close of discovery. But again, the point of the anti-slap is to avoid the discovery because discovery is long and costly. So if we can have it ruled on in the appropriate way, or what we believe is the appropriate way, where the anti-slap is applied, summary judgment is granted based on the non-disputed facts, then we can end this lawsuit and stop wasting time and money on it. Because that's the whole purpose of the lawsuit, is to cost time and money. That's it. That should be obvious to everybody. But yeah, so if we can get that ruling directed towards the proper application of the law as we see it, then we can do that. And if not, then we'll just proceed through discovery and keep going. So there you go. But that's the gist of it. Nothing's really changed. The ruling has been there for several months now. But here we go. Unhung Hero says, remind me to avoid Ford Escapes when on the streets of Wisconsin. So many people tagged me in this Gage Crossgrids getting hit by a car thing on like every Twitter thread I was on. It was fucking hilarious. We'll get there. All right, back to Shadiversity though. Let's get to Shad on Twitter. This is a couple days ago, so I have to go grab it and find Shad Brooks. Here we go. We got to find where his actual thing is. You know what? This is just a side observation. It's so weird how different platforms grow in different ways, right? Because Shadiversity has a fucking huge YouTube channel. But his Twitter channel is shockingly small comparatively. And it's weird how like people find different success on different platforms like that. So nothing to say about it. Here we go. Is this it? Okay. So here is the, this is Scala Gladiatoria, his initial post, and we'll get to Shad's response to that in just a second. Can I join your internet hit squad or whatever the Tard lawyer thinks you have? Oh, my criminal enterprise? Yes. Yeah. Yes, you can join my RICO organization in which we somehow for profit engage in targeted and very coordinated and planned defamation for the purposes of extracting YouTube dollars. I guess my large network of people who do that. What's up, Icon of Sin? No, I've not played Star Sector. I skipped your super chat because I normally, if you don't remember, I hit the 20s first. But we'll get back to it eventually. So this is Scala Gladiatoria. He looks like this. One eye is bigger than the other. I don't know anything about this guy. Again, I've probably seen a YouTube video of his or two when I get bored and I'll sit and like just watch some random subject like sword fighting. But I don't like know him. I don't know his politics. I don't care. I have no reason to like or dislike him. He just exists. All right. Here's what he writes. Dear community, fans, and members, this is the kind of post I normally try to avoid. This is very important. This is very special. You will notice that this morning I have removed a post that I made while I was away working and traveling yesterday. At quite short notice, I was kindly invited to get together with a varied group of people to do some filming. I don't normally turn down such opportunities unless I have some concrete reason. even if I have factual and non-damaging disagreements with another person involved, I try to beat views that I disagree with facts and arguments. You should try it with a sword. You're probably better at it. But it's this is already such a weird thing, right? Look at how important and impactful he's making this in his opening statements. I don't normally do this. Even if I severely disagree with someone, I normally, I just argue against them. But here we go. One of the people involved yesterday, it turns out, is highly personally offensive to a lot of people I care about, both here and offline. I did not know the depths and complexities of the issues with that person before yesterday. So obviously, I don't care about this personally. Like, this sort of philosophy doesn't sit with me. Plenty of my friends are personally and deeply offensive to even other friends of mine. You either suck it up and be adults, or you don't hang out. Like that. That's how you deal with that. Like a human. There are all kinds of times in my life where I've had to interact with people that I don't like, and you just deal with it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? But yes, much complexity is very deep. But notice what he's doing here. And one of the people that a lot of people have friction with, that I'm friends with, is Dick Masterson. But Dick points out something that people do a lot, and this is it. He calls it lying and implying. Lying and implying is this idea that you create the specter of the negative thing that someone does or believes or is guilty of, and then you let the imagination of the reader fill in the blanks. We talked about this a little bit yesterday when I was discussing the fact that I hate the broad application of sexual assault and rape, because if you're invoking the word rape, people's minds go to the forcible, horrifying, violent act. But that's not all the things that we consider rape, and it's not always what we mean. But, the idea is that your mind will wander to the worst thing possible. And that's this sort of weaselly method of dealing, though. This person has said things and done things that have hurt people that are very dear to me very deeply. It's like, well, what, though? Like, are they reasonably hurt, or are they fragile? Like, would a normal person be offended by this? Or are they a special type of thing? Like, was it targeted? What was it? I don't care if somebody has historical views that I disagree with. I will argue with them. But I do deeply care if a person has views that I deem to be venturing into the realm of, which is the vaguest. Views that I deem to be venturing into the realm of. So importantly, these views are not the list that's following. These views are somewhere along a pathway towards those, in his opinion, maybe. Bigotry, such as sexism, racism, or homophobia. That is absolutely and obviously a line in the sand for me. Okay, so views that he deems to be venturing into the realms of bigotry, such as sexism, racism, or homophobia, those are off limits. Just very clear on that one. I have interacted with this person over the years, including posting video rebuttals, arguments, responses, etc. on historical matters. I had not experienced anything negative with that person, other than disagreeing with a fairly large number of points that person made, as evidenced by my videos responses over the years, e.g., what is HEMA? And that was, God, this guy is not an expert in grammar or syntax. However, yesterday after filming, it was brought to my attention. Okay. I'm sorry. At the core of my homosexuality is the fact that I am a writer of some stripe, an English major, a writing major. I always wanted to write stories. I wanted to write books, screenplays. I wanted to write and entertain people through writing. And so one of the most frustrating things that seems to be very common in this weird fucking canceling bullshit is the overuse of to be verbs and the passive voice. It is so fucking soy-filled that I can't take it. It is the antithesis of direct speaking. It is the antithesis of the sort of communication that drives home a point or is persuasive or is useful in any way. It is this idea that everything is couched in some other third party acting upon you in a way that you're just not able to deal with. I have, if you don't know what a to be verb is, be, am, is, are, was, were, been, have, has, had, do, does, did, can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, must, being. All right? If you don't know those, learn them and then excise them from your writing as fast as fucking possible. Write in active tense, not passive tense. Do it all the time. Just use verbs. Don't use to be verbs. To be verbs are garbage and weak and pathetic, and they don't deliver a point to anybody. Or it's more like to be verbs would be possibly able to deliver a point at some time in the future. They're weak and frail. This is a guy who uses swords and hammers to break stuff. Like, come on, man. Say what you fucking mean, not what some other thing has caused your mind to wander into. How boring are you? God, I just hate it. But it's endemic to cancel culture. It is endemic to this idea that, well, it's not me doing it. It's the notion of what these people represent that forces me to step away casually, politely, but also while saying ew and yuck and yikes as many times as possible. Like, just say the fucking thing and stop beating around the goddamn bush about it. So here we go. It was brought to my attention that on their second channel, one I have only visited a handful of times a long time ago, this person is now promoting political and social views which are absolutely against my own views, and indeed against the principles of the groups and events I run. I was not aware of the nature and extremity of this person's views before yesterday. People can, of course, voice their views in a free society, but I am equally free to disapprove of, disagree with, and disassociate with those views, which I hereby do in black and white terms. Now, notice, again, I don't know if he's going to get to it, but this is the weakness of the statement. What are the views? What is so vehemently and unconscionably wrong about them? He doesn't say yet. He hasn't stated yet what he so thoroughly disagrees with. They're just political views that he doesn't like, apparently. But he represents them as if they're appalling, but they're vague. What is appalling? Does he say, I really hate using my swords on, ballistics gel. I wish I could just buy black people for that. Like, that might be an appalling thing to say, right? That might be something people can fucking understand why you wouldn't like that. Or maybe you would. I don't know you, but make it concrete, man. He has some political and social views that I just disagree with. They're very troubling. Okay. All right. I do not at all align myself or in any way agree with that person's views on these topics. Which ones? Which should be patently obvious to anyone who knows me or has followed my channel closely. Then why do you need to do this? If everybody can understand that you don't agree with Shad on these political topics, why are you concerned about the association? Like, they're so obviously diverse from yours. Why would you need to make like this big, weird, I'm pissing outside? No, wait, that's what cool people do. I'm going inside to piss in the women's restroom or whatever. Like, why do you have to do that? I filmed one video with the said person yesterday. He won't even say it, right? As if people won't know, he won't even say it. And I had already decided last night not to publish that. I have now also taken down yesterday's post because I want to move on from this and disassociate from them. I understand that many people will be angry that I have collaborated with that person at all, even before I knew their views. You've done it before. And I hope that it will partially appease you to know that I will not associate with them again. Now that I know the full facts, and that there will be no output from yesterday's filming coming from me. I'm sure there might be some coming on you. For people who are upset to read this and did not know about this person's views, I suggest that you go and decide for yourself, but I know where my line in the sand is. Now this page will return to its usual content. Apologies for the diversion. Whoa. Okay. All right. Look. Is he talking about the Night? Oh, Night's Watch. All right. Let's alternate channel that he's talking about. All right. What offensive views there are and all that shit. We'll hit that real quick. So here we go. Here is Night's Watch, Shad's alternate page. We've got videos. This isn't the Ahsoka show. Heroes are evil and villains sympathetic. Wheel of Time. Best Star Wars since George Lucas. These are very dangerous views. Worst episode yet. Wheel of Time season 2 review. Why we're stuck on reviewing One Piece. Ahsoka, they did what? Wheel of Time. Why is this so stupid? Ken is not a hero of the Barbie film. A message to young men living without hope. Like, this is like, should gamers expect more? Baldur's Gate 3 controversy. Beetle kills James Gunn's DCU. Thoughts versus AI girlfriends, which is worse. Angry Joe. So, like, you know, it's like Geeks and Gamers or Nerdrotic or, you know, as like a bunch of my friends do this type of content. I can't keep, like, I don't know how they have time to watch all these fucking shows, but they do, and they talk about it and they have a perspective on it. So obviously, he's not really probably not in favor of like feminism and woke culture. That's it. So that's what we got. That's the so offensive that he must disassociate thing here. So here we go. Now we've got Shad's response, which I do want to read here because, you know, I like Shad. We got to give him his minutes here. Tamest of anyone you mentioned since Oz. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Shad is like, he's not the guy that's like the, I don't know how to describe it. So here's Shad's post. Something very sad has happened. Matt Easton of Scala Gladiata 1, a longtime collaborator and friendly peer in the YouTube sword community, has just chosen to cut off all association with me, Shad, and my channel, Shadiversity. We had just had a great day collaborating with other wonderful sword content creators. It was a day of friendship, discussion, and laughter. Upon sharing some images of the day and filming, he received many hateful comments about me, I'm guessing of the type that grossly misrepresent and vilify my beliefs in an attempt to discredit and harm my reputation. Without contacting me to find out the true context of my extremely basic and commonly held conservative beliefs that I am outspoken about outside of Shadiversity, he's chosen to totally and completely excommunicate me from his association, even in spite of the kindness, support, respect, and friendship I've shown him over the years. Now, notice the difference in representation of how much they've interacted. Like, Shad saying we've interacted quite a bit. He's like, well, I mean, I've disagreed with him at times. I tend to believe Shad, but I don't actually know. Goodwill, benefit of the doubt, personal friendly interactions, and past kindness mean little apparently. Matt isn't the first person to do this, and perhaps I'll talk about the others in the future. I keep Shadiversity free from politics. All are welcome regardless of their beliefs, and I extend a hand of friendship to all. Those that agree with my belief, and more importantly, those that do not, including Matt, I believe this is essential to push for a more peaceful and tolerant world. I watch, support, and be friends with those who have beliefs I find offensive. That does not mean I will stand up and be outspoken about my beliefs, nor should people censure themselves for my sake of my feelings. For the sake of my feelings, and people should not have to betray their beliefs just to be accepted by others. We just need to learn to get along with those that are different. For all those who do not want to hear me fight for what I think is right, I separate it from Shadiversity as best I can and share such views on my second channel, Night's Watcher, here on Twitter. I only address it now because people like Matt can't seem to understand this separation, nor associate with people who believe things they find offensive. Not very long ago. This is a long post, Shad. I'm getting very angry with this. You should publish it. Not very long ago, it was far more common for people to get along and be friends, regardless of their run-of-the-mill political or religious views, even if they found them offensive. And yes, my views are standard views most Christian conservatives have, regardless of how much people try and vilify and misrepresent them. I'm just outspoken and stand up for what I believe. Of course, people love to misrepresent my views in the vilest of ways. Apparently, it is better to strawman a person into a villain rather than address his views. My beliefs are free to be heard and understood by anyone. They're all available on Stay on Watch in context, and I stand by everything I've said there, not the strawman villainous caricature people that hate me try to depict. I have no idea what Shad is talking about here. No one has ever done this on the internet. No one is like taken something someone said, changed the context, and made them into something horrible from it. They all just honestly and perfectly represent the true nature of what is spoken at all times. Oh, wait. This is just the background story. The climax of this story, giggity, is what we're going to hit in a minute with Metatron's thing, which this just makes me so happy. What many ideologically possessed people who sit on the opposite political spectrum to me don't seem to understand is they hold views that I find equally and personally offensive as many of my beliefs are to them, although it seems they probably don't have a correct understanding of my views, seeing as many hear disingenuous, hateful comments about me and take them as categorical truth. My point is I actually believe and practice tolerance and acceptance of people different from me. You don't have to agree or celebrate. Oh my God, how long? Okay, Shad, stop it. You get the gist. You get the gist. This is too much, even for me. Even for me, this is too much. So I'm going to now go to Metatron because I want the funny to come, and Shad is just too heroically verbose. All right. I've got to find Metatron's post real quick. Is this? No, this isn't it. This is way too short. Here it is. Oh my God, this made me so fucking happy. This made me, and I don't know if you guys probably won't even find this funny, but so this is Metatron, again, another sword tuber, a huge channel. I think like 800,000 subscribers. All right. Here's where it starts. A statement of honor with a U because he's European. I wish to make a statement about this current clash between two channels and creators I've been friends with. I hear this in Aragorn's voice, which is embarrassing, and have collaborated with numerous times over the years, namely Matt Easton at Scala Gladiatoria channel and Shad M. Brooks at Shadiversity channel. I've chosen to hold and observe first, not because I was afraid to take a stance. I've proven to be afraid of nothing when it comes to speaking my mind on all sorts of delicate matters. I waited in hope that this would resolve with moderate visibility. I didn't want to add fuel to the fire. But as the situation unfolds and factions make their stands, I will not shy away from my duty as a true friend. To put myself in the crossfire, I practice what I preach. If what I hereby say will have negative repercussions to me as well, so be it. Friendship is sacred. Freedom is sacred. It is a known fact that Shad has helped me during my time of need. He came to my rescue when I was down. He showed a caring hand when I was under attack, and I will forever be in debt with him for that. He has proven to be a true friend to me. He asked his subscribers to support me, even though he himself was struggling financially at the time. While having a wife and numerous children to think of, he put me and my wife's well-being first, showing a level of self-forgetting generosity and altruism I've never seen outside of immediate family. Ever. No matter where you stand politically, understand that this has immense value to me. When it comes to Scala Gladiatoria, Matt Easton is literally the reason why I have a YouTube channel in the first place. He was my inspiration. Don't do it. Don't sing Chicago. Don't do it. The man who sparked the fire in me, gay. If it wasn't for Matt Easton and his highly accurate content, the Metatron channel would not exist. I've been looking up to the man, his knowledge and expertise for years. I hope that these words will help you see where I'm coming from as I take my public stance. Let it be known, no matter the points of difference, the contrasting views, the various areas in which Shad and I differ ideologically, whoever personally attacks Shad or his family attacks me. Brother, you have my shield. I'll stand in the crossfire for you, and I will not falter. I'm sorry. I hereby publicly state that Shad Mitchell Brooks is and will forever be a friend to the Metatron channel and a personal friend to me, for he has shown support to my family, to those whom I love the most, and that will get you my shield, whether you be right, left, centre, white, black, blue, or green. Just like any of you viewers don't need to agree with me politically, religiously, and societally to be respected by me and be welcomed among the noble ones. This extends to him. Conservatives, liberals, religious or atheists, white or black, LGBTQ, straight, gay, transgender, you are all welcome to watch my channel. And if there be points of disagreements, let's discuss them over a coffee with civility and mutual respect. I only attack the extremists on all sides. And even if you are extreme left or alt-right, you can still watch my videos. And I hope that I will be able to show you a better way through reason, logic, and contextual analysis. If you disagree with his takes and wish to attack Shad's political views and ideas, you are more than welcome to do so. Argue away. I myself do not agree with several things Shad thinks, while agreeing with others. Like him, I too support traditional family values and freedom of speech and of religion. We are all humans. No form of supremacy, black or white, is good to me. What about Caramel, brother? Still, I have a more moderate approach to social and political matters when compared to some of Shad's positions and many positions of people he has associated with. But a friend must not think exactly like me to be called a friend by me. His actions toward me have spoken. This is why my friendship towards him is solid. But at the same time, it does not automatically extend to the people he has chosen to appear with, such as Carl Benjamin, aka Sargon of the Akkad. If you watch his content and like him, you are free to. Once again, free society. I do not like extreme views, which to my understanding he holds. And I do not like the way Sargon has expressed his views over the years. If all of this means that some people will call me alt-right for not having betrayed Shad, so be it. It will be on them. I know what I stand for. I know I am no extremist, and the truth will prevail. But to me, Shad's views are not extreme. Sure, sometimes his choice of words could be interpreted that way, but I have to believe that Shad's views do not reach that level, and his loyal actions toward me have granted him the benefit of the doubt 100 times. But only 100. I'll call him and personally ask if anything he has said could be unclear to my understanding. Notice that I do not use the word offensive on purpose here. If you choose to disassociate with him, that's your right. I fight for your freedom too, and your freedom to choose who you call a friend. Whom? But I won't stab a friend in the back over politics. That is not who I am. I do not believe Shad to be a homophobe, nor a racist, nor a sexist. It is my opinion that the man is just a Christian conservative, and that doesn't automatically equal those three words, and it is wrong to think so. To be impartial and just, I have to also underline a very important thing about Matt Easton. By presenting Matt's disapproval towards Shad's position as a broader matter of disapproval towards conservative thought and Christian thought in general, Shad has generated some serious backlash for Matt. Well, okay. I mean, breaking character for a second. Yeah, because that's what it is. And we know that it's just broad because that broad wrote how fucking broad his disagreements were. It's not like Matt Easton was like, you know what? I really hate Shad's position on contraception within the bounds of marriage. And Shad's like, well, these are just traditional values that every conservative Christian has ever had, and he just hates that. That's not what Shad did. That's what Matt Easton did. Like, Matt made them general Christian conservative values. He said it. He was so fucking cowardly and vague that he couldn't articulate a single goddamn point he disagreed with. He just heard that Shad was bad man. Shad man, bad man. That's all he did. All he heard was that. And then he's like, I just have to not associate with this guy because of stuff. It's not Shad who did that, man. Come on. Don't cuck out during the middle of your hilariously overwrought speech of defense. Shad didn't create the backlash for Matt. Matt did. Because guess what? If Matt has this huge channel and he suddenly comes out and he's like, you know what? These Christian right beliefs I don't agree with. Statistically, half of the motherfuckers who watch him are going to be like, hey, that's me, though. All right. I understand Shad felt disappointed and he felt he was unjustly attacked. So he escalated this to the big platforms. No, 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 no. No, no. Matt did. Let's be very clear. Matt did. Matt did all of that. Posted on Twitter. After Matt's decision to make a post on his Scala Gladiatorius Facebook page about disassociating with Shad, which is his right under a free society, he has received a cascade of hate, threats, attacks, insults, both in the comment section of his videos and on videos made by creators who can't even pronounce the name of the channel properly. Never mind knowing the first thing about him as an individual. I don't need to know anything about him as an individual. I'll just judge him based on what he has said. Specifically, with no other input from any other person. Nobody has ever talked to me about Matt Easton at all. I judged his post. His post was categorically gay. So fucking weak. Those attacks are not right, and I won't stand by that either. Matt clearly thinks Shad does fit these definitions. We'll have to agree to disagree, but it can be done in a civil manner. But see, this is the thing, buddy. Matt didn't do it in a civil manner. And he thinks Shad fits those definitions. But why? Is it because of what Shad said or because of what someone said Shad meant? And this is the part that is critical in this fucking weird cultural thing. It's why we have these divides. It's why no one can just fucking disagree. The way that Shad talked about and the way this guy's talking about is because people aren't actually listening to the person. They're making judgments about summaries that other people are given. And those summaries are motivated. The point is to make people hate Shad, specifically Matt Easton. The point is the cancellation of Shad by Matt. That's what they wanted to engage. So they didn't honestly represent Shad, and you know they didn't. Because the things that Shad must have triggered Matt about have never bothered Matt in the past. Despite their numerous interactions, that's never come up. How can someone be the worst person and you never are able to see it? But someone will tell you, be like, oh, you didn't know that guy was a racist who thinks that babies should be eaten by Jews? Like, you didn't know that? Weird. Everybody knows that. And you're like, how did I miss this? I talk to this guy with frequency. I mean, my viewers never say it. Nobody ever says that. Nobody's ever showed me a clip of this. Oh, yeah. Guy's really shady. Very scary. There's a reason you don't know that. It's because it's almost never true. People accuse Matt of being a traitor, a coward, and of having stabbed a friend in the back. Yes. Let's make this 100% clear. Matt and Shad were not friends. They were friendly towards each other and made a few videos together. So no, Matt did not stab a friend in the back. All right, let me pause this. Recently, I've been involved in a struggle similar to this, except on a higher titanic plane of existence with much greater impact than swords, and that is comic books. No. There's friends and then there's friends. You meet someone, you're cool with them, you have similar views, you chat, you're rocking the same circles, you're friends. But you're not friends, right? Like, you call that person, they're not gonna be like at your house to help you out and like tow your car out of a ditch or something. Like, that's your friends. But you have friends. And in the social media like world of networking, you're friends until you're not. You just, everybody talks like this, except for Medicare. Yeah. Oh yeah, friendly with that guy, friends, whatever. We can hang out, we chat, have a good discussion. You're friends. But almost no one on social media is your friend until you've met them, interacted with them like heavily in personal ways, not business ways. But you're still friends. It's like you're friends with your coworkers, but you don't want to like hang out with them all the time until you do and they're cool. And then you're friends, right? But you're friends before that. This is a common colloquialism, and people like use it to misrepresent things. But let's not mince things here. If you're in a community and you're peers with someone and you're on decent terms, for all intents and purposes of the social media business world, you are friends. And if you throw someone out of that community forcefully, you are stabbing a friend in the back. Like, you are doing that. If you do it without some sort of justification or cause, and you do it with the purpose of like, removal or harm or disassociation, casting a negative implication. Yeah. Yeah. That's that kind of is stabbing someone in the back. It's not the same as like a person you hang out with in real life all the time and you help each other out and help them move or something, but it is a real thing that exists. And just because it's a colloquial use of friends that isn't what is commonly known, social media isn't common human interaction. So we can have a term that is similar but not synonymous. Anyway, Kate of the Swiss says, anyone that has an issue with Carl or Shad is probably a low IQ, mouth breathing retard and probably deserves all the bad shit that happens to them. Simple as. There you go. That's one way to say it. Bold, but accurate. And Sargon basically called him out on this. I'm not going to go into that. Sargon called him out and he's like, what did I do? And he's like, well, maybe I didn't like the way you said some things. Okay, whatever. But here we go. Matt has nothing against you if you are a Christian. Well, he might if you're a conservative Christian. Nor does he have anything against conservatives in general. He's only publicly against homophobia, sexism, and racism. But Shad isn't homophobic, sexist, or racist, and a bunch of people think that conservative Christians are all three of those by definition. So if you're a Christian or a conservative or both, and you've unsubscribed from Matt because of this, Matt doesn't hate you, and I would ask for you to subscribe back. Ew. Ew. I too am against racism. Oh, God, it's getting really weird. All right. Okay. Although I tend to specify that I'm against being intolerant towards all, Black, Asian, Hispanic, etc., and white people too. Those who watch me know what I mean. Why do you have to say it? I too am against racism. I too think that it's not right to mistreat, threaten, exercise mental and physical violence towards gay or transgendered people. They should not live in fear. Oh, God. It is okay, however, to disagree in a civil manner with those activists who represent a minority within the LGBTQ community who push ideas you disagree with, and that not even all members within the LGBTQ community support. That is your right. How you do it is how I value your integrity. So wait, can you disagree with gay marriage, though? What about that one? Can you disagree with gay marriage, or can you disagree with trans bathrooms? Can you disagree with transing kids? Can you disagree with health insurance covering or being forced by government to cover transgenderism? Can you disagree with Christian employers being forced to hire transgender people or gay people? Like, I don't know. What's the limit? I'm just trying to find these things that like are not so fringe or extreme. Like he's saying you can disagree with the extreme activists, but can you just disagree with being gay? Like, I'll be clear, I don't give a shit if you're gay. I don't care at all. I might ask you what shoes to buy. I'm not sure. But can someone disagree with it? Can someone be like, yeah, you know what? Don't agree with that. Think it's a choice. Like, no, they're attracted to penis. Like, well, but it's a choice to grab it and put it in your mouth. Right? Because, like, there's women who are attracted to penises that don't grab them and put them in their mouth. So, anyway, like, can you disagree? This is the question. Because he set it up as, like, this very reasonable position. But I don't know that it's as reasonable as he thinks it is. Anyway, here we go. I don't, whatever. I And again, I don't really care, but it starts off like really fun and strong, and then now he's on the Matt Easton side. It's weird. It's like this walk backy thing. Those who wish to silence you will be met with the full force of my platform. I will defend your freedom. When it comes to sexism, if anything, I'm old school. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I buy aprons in bulk, and every female subscriber to my channel gets one mailed to her immediately. In the sense that I treat women like something special that should be cherished, loved, defended, and respected, like a child with Down syndrome. That's how I read it. I hereby state that Metatron looks at women and sees them as children with Down syndrome. Well, they love life, they don't understand anything, and they're all going to die before they're 36. So, oh my God. Oh my. Oh, I feel so horrible making that joke. But I didn't. He did. Metatron said that. That was his words. Wow. Wow, Metatron. That's brutal. Don't worry. Nina, you beat the odds. Oh, God. Oh, man. I can't. I don't know how to finish this. Okay, so guys, I have a confession to make. Oh, I have a confession to make. I have undiagnosed some level of ADD. You guys probably know that. So I read kind of some of his posts here. Like I kind of did. I read it and I was like, oh, okay, this is funny and LARPy. This is great. I didn't get this far because I lost interest. And when you get on the show, you can't lose interest. You have to get through it. Like you have to go and like make sure you get to the points. So I did not know that we were gonna get to him being like, he's like, look, I'm so against racism. I'm really against bigotry towards those queers or whatever. But when it comes to sexism, I'm old school. Like, whoa. That's the funniest thing you've said so far. Oh, God. Oh, okay. All right. Compose myself. I'm almost just. Wow. All right. All right. So here we go. I too have a line in the sand, but clearly me and Matt place these lines at different heights. Heights? Wait. How does a line in the sand have a height? It would have a depth or length or width. I don't know that it'd have a height. How does... All right. Okay. Whew. All right. That's his prerogative, as it is also mine. Let's focus our energy, strength, and rage toward the people who are the real racist, homophobes, and violent, toxic, and intolerant haters on both sides. Matt isn't the enemy. Shad isn't the enemy. Ceasefire. Keep the peace. Wow. It's like Sweden grabbed Germany and France's penises, pulled them together, and tried to tie them into a knot there at the end. Oh, boy. That was something. That was something. Whew, okay. Okay. I that was the most dramatic drama response I've ever seen. That's where that was my point in all this. I didn't know we were going to get to women are, you know, one less chromosome or whatever. Like, I didn't know we were going to get there. The point was, like, look at how overwrought and dramatic and LARPy this response is. This is so weird. Like, I wish all communities were like this. What community would have the best autistic response that you can imagine? Like, the in character, like, he's like, you have my shield. I will erect walls around your dignity and courage and subscribers. Like, which one can you think of would have the fucking best response? Oh, man, it's got to be a black community, right? Of course. Are coming on figurines. There you go. Yep, that one. The Warhammer community, Shakespearean, that would be great. Yeah, 40K would be so good. So good. Star Wars, no, Star Wars would be bad. See, I got to do it. I got to do all Star Wars dialogue has always been shit from episode 4 all the way through the backwards retarded counting and then back forwards again. Like, all of it's bad. None of it would be good. All their dialogue's garbage. So that would be bad. Yeah, a brony community, that'd be great. Oh, God, that'd be good. Magic the Gathering nerds? Yes. Black Hebrew Israelites. Well, they just do that. They just do that as well. All right. Okay. All right, here we go. Next, we got a huge super chat here from Fagan's Law. Thank you, brother. He says, all I can keep thinking about is SNL Sean Connery mispronouncing swords. Take swords for 500, Trebek. That's S words. Please read your autistic screed you will write when your community ends up flinging at each other. Oh, just send it to me when it happens. Just send it to me. Oh, I love you. I know. All right. Okay. Oh, the anime community? Dude, yeah. Oh, God. Like, mixing up the different properties, too? That'd be so bad. Like, I noticed an exercise of massive power between two channels. I wasn't wearing my scouter. I could just sense their ki. What? They're fighting. They're fighting fast. I can't even keep up. I couldn't imagine their subscriber counts dwindling and rising in fury. Like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then you'd have, like, someone come in and be like Guts, who's just like, actually, I've just realized this whole time I just wanted to fuck Griffith. Yep. There you go. I've solved my entire character arc. I just wanted to fuck Griffith. Amazing. Amazing. Jason of TGA says, what part is difficult about women like to invite random penises in while men like to keep random penises out? You come on. Look, you can like Guts. You can like him. I don't think he's gay. He don't want to bang other dudes. He just wants to straighten Griffith's intestines, man. That's the grossest way. to say that, as far as I can tell. Citric Adams says Griffith was so fucking pretty, though. Oof. Yeah, see, Guts wasn't mad at Griffith for banging Casca. He was mad at Casca for banging Griffith. He's like, God, I wish that were me. Am I gay? I talk about it a lot. Probably. I don't know. Never tried. Okay. I think that's a big hurdle to being gay. You got to try it out. It's a big investment, right? You imagine, you just think about it. I don't know you are gay. Gay people don't watch this channel because they hate it, but that's a joke. Obviously, everybody who watches this channel is gay. But you're like, you know what? I think it might be gay. Shit, what if I'm not, though? But I try it. Like, that's going to hurt. Yeah. That's a lot up front. Maybe I'll just be miserable. I think that's how it goes. That's how it goes for Camelot. All right. Did you just say you wish you were angry at a woman for banging another dude? No, that's what Guts is saying. Is wish Casca was him getting banged by Griffith. Follow on. Keep up the pace. All right. Look, that's what I got. That's what I got on this. I don't care about the drama in the sword community. I don't care about the sword community. I care about Shad because he seems cool and based, and he's super nice. And I had a great chat with him, and I'd love to talk to him again about all the things that people hate about him or whatever, or literally anything else. Because honestly, I don't care about what people hate about him. That was just a joke. But I like him, and I was mildly interested when he was getting thrown out of the cool kids club where they play chess or whatever. But then I saw this response, like it just kind of like, oh, Shad got removed. All my friends go through this at some point. Shad and I are friends. We're best friends though. Not like what I was talking about earlier. Shad and I are best friends forever. We've been best friends for our whole lives, and we'll be best friends to the end. I love you, brother. No, but it's like he seems like a cool dude, and I like him. So, but it was still like this happens to everybody I know at some point. But then this Metatron thing came out, and I was like, wow, the dedication. Have you read his book? Oh, Christ, no. Why would I do that? Why would I read his book? Oh, man. You should read Shad's book. No, I'm not saying it would be bad. I don't read anything anymore. No time for anything at all. Just running. Go, 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 go. Someday when I get fully canceled, or like when I get blood cancer or something and I just can't do anything else, then I'll read everything I need to catch up on, which is all of these books. Red Noodle says, do a page of Unbreaded, you banger. I was thinking about it. We'll see. We'll see. Not even the Bible? No, I read the Bible. Okay. We got to move on to the next topic. Ray Epps. Ray Epps. Ray Epps. You love Candace? Oh, good. Perfect. Stick with me. Stick with me, sister. We'll get to Candace. You can still like Candace. Ray Epps. No. God, I'm so fucking happy to finally throw this in your face, you conservative conspiracy theorist, bigoted jerkholes. Finally. Ray Epps is not a Fed, and I'm going to prove it right now. I started talking about this yesterday. Here we go. Ray Epps, January 6th, rioter, definitely not a Fed, definitely not FBI, does not glow in the dark, who was subject of conspiracy theories, pleads guilty. The Donald Trump supporter, Ray Epps, who believed the former president's lies about the 2020 election, was accused of being a federal operative. He is suing Fox News. Look at him right there. He's doing the Patrick Stewart. What the fuck, Wesley? A man who became the target of far right conspiracy theories after his image was added and then removed from the FBI's Capitol Violence website. How many images were added and then removed from the Capitol Violence website? I mean, you're not helping your case, NBC News. Why was it removed? Why was it removed? But okay. Has pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge in connection with the January 6th attack. Oh, God. Ray Epps pleaded guilty to one count of disorderly or disruptive conduct on restricted grounds at a hearing before U.S. District Chief Judge James Boasberg in Washington. Epps appeared virtually via Zoom. Okay, I have a question, though. I want to see the factual basis for this plea deal. All right, so I'm not positive in this court, but in Minnesota courts, if you plead guilty to a crime, you have to plead to facts that support your conviction because you still have a due process right. You can't just say, hey, yeah, I did it. Well, what'd you do? I was disorderly. You can't just do that. So you got disorderly or disruptive conduct on restricted grounds. Did Ray Epps go inside? Or was he just outside? I don't actually know. I'm not actually sure. But was he actually on restricted grounds? But I don't know. Maybe he was doing something on restricted grounds. But that seems like an element of the crime. I want to see what he pled to. I don't know. Let's see. Epps appeared virtually via Zoom. Epps became the target of dozens of segments by former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. Epps filed a defamation suit against the network in July. And if you don't understand this, the federal government is literally helping Ray Epps win a defamation lawsuit against Fox News by charging him with the weakest possible misdemeanor, allowing him to plea, and probably having the greatest plea deal in the history of the fucking planet. This is about Fox. This is about punishing the dissenters, the people asking questions. They're going to prove that Ray Epps wasn't involved in the federal government because he's pleading guilty to a crime. If he was a Fed, they couldn't, they wouldn't charge him, right? The guy who stood behind Epps taking pictures got 16 years. The conspiracy theory posited that a man pictured on the FBI's website was a government agent, that Jan 6 was a false flag event encouraged by the FBI. Curious. I want to test out my P-238 space modulator. Even now, more than 2.5 years after the Capitol attack, more than 100 people whose photos are featured on the FBI's website have been identified, but not yet arrested. Cool story. Jason of TGA says, can't remember now where I saw we are watching 3 movies, Russiagate, Panic in DC, and Guardians of the Pedophiles, but these 3 movies are getting interesting. Epps' statement of offense included multiple photos going through his actions on January 6th. Epps, according to the FBI, was not and never has been an asset of the Bureau. Whoa, no. I mean, no. In an interview with the January 6th committee last year, Epps said the crazy conspiracy theories had torn apart his life. Like thousands of others, Epps was on the restricted grounds of the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Video of Epps from the night of January 5th shows him saying that Trump supporters should go inside the Capitol. And video on January 6th shows him urging Trump supporters to go to the Capitol. Later, once a riot breaks out, video shows Epps trying to calm tensions between police and protesters. Most of the charged January 6th defendants either entered the Capitol itself or committed violence or destruction outside, placing Epps in a small category of January 6th participants charged despite never entering the building or engaging in destructive or assaultive conduct. And again, why? So he doesn't enter the building, according to this. He doesn't destroy anything or assault anyone. In fact, he's trying to stop it. And yet, they're charging him with misdemeanor disorderly conduct. Why? Why? What's the crime? Anyone? Someone says inciting a riot is illegal, just saying, except he wasn't charged with incitement. Why is he charged? A small group of people are charged for not entering and not destroying anything. Were the other ones feds too? Like, which one? Why is it? But again, he's got a lawsuit against Fox. This charge does not hurt him. It helps him. A misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge that you can say, look, I didn't even go inside. Other guys got 10 years. I got a little fine and, some community service. Why? Only helps. Hurts Fox News. Helps him. Runs cover for his line. Oh, see, I wasn't a fed. You guys are just wrong. I was with you the whole time or whatever. Cool. The maximum sentence for the charge Epps faces is 1 year in prison, 1 year of supervised release, and a fine. The sentencing guidelines ranges between 0 and 6 months of incarceration, according to his plea agreement. Epps will be sentenced by Judge Boasberg on December 20th at 10 a.m. Epps and his attorneys have waived their in-person appearance at that hearing. So he could get up to 6 months of incarceration. I'm not super familiar with how they do federal sentencing. I'll tell you exactly how he would get sentenced in Minnesota. He would get sentenced to 6 months of incarceration, and he would get sentenced, the top end of the guidelines. And then what would happen is he would get a stay of execution or a stay of adjudication. He would get a 1 year probation that says as long as he doesn't do same or similar disorderly conduct on restricted grounds for the next year, this will fall off and be dismissed. He'll pay a fine, $500 to $1,000, and everything will go on. His life will go on as normal. And he'll have some probationary restrictions, very little unsupervised restrictions, no same or similars. It's not a felony, so he gets to probably keep any guns that he owns. He may have a restriction on mind-altering substances other than alcohol, just because of how they sometimes do that, but he won't be monitored, so it won't matter. That's that. That'll be it. And he probably might have to write a letter to go visit a Capitol building or something like that. But it'd be nothing. Ultimately, he'd get sentenced to the high end of the guideline, but he'd do none of it, and then it'd be dismissed out and sealed up later. Michael Teeter, Ray Epps' lead counsel in his civil case against Fox News, said in a statement that his client has cooperated and has taken responsibility for his actions, saying that his plea agreement with the DOJ is powerful evidence of the absurdity of Fox News' and Tucker Carlson's lies that sought to turn Ray into a scapegoat for January 6th. There it is, right? Powerful evidence. In fact, I would be shocked if his attorney didn't reach out to the DOJ and say, prosecute my client, please. He's a fed and all, but prosecute the shit out of him, except make it meaningless. Had Ray been charged earlier, Fox News would have called him a hero and a political prisoner. Teeter continued, instead, Fox News spread falsehoods about Ray that have cost him his livelihood and safety. To this day, Fox News has not retracted the lies or even reported on Ray's prosecution. Ray's prosecution started like a day ago. Last month, the FBI arrested a St. Louis man named Rally Runner, who Tucker Carlson interviewed. Tucker Carlson viewers were told in late 2021 was clearly a law enforcement officer and an agent provocateur who only dressed up as a Trump supporter to make other Trump supporters look bad. In reality, Runner was a huge fan of both Trump and Carlson. Of course he was. Of course he was. Oh, my God. No, it turns out I actually love those guys. This is it, right? What do you believe? Who do you believe? Do you believe the government and NBC? Do you believe Fox, Tucker Carlson? Do you believe Ray Epps? Do you believe Rally Runner? Who do you believe anymore? How can you believe any of them, by the way? I have no idea. How do you discern this? Nothing's even real. Everything's a work by somebody. Even if the work is just please prosecute my client, like maybe Ray Epps is not a Fed. Let's just assume arguendo he's not. And they're just like, please prosecute my clients so we can fuck over Fox News for like $11 trillion. They're like, wait, yeah, let's do that. That'll be great. Uncle Joe will come sniff our children then. Like that's all. You still can't believe it. Like there's no integrity to any of this. There's no transparency. There's nothing. We have a government that is overtly opposed to the government that was created for us. We have a government of subversion, of lies, of opacity. I shouldn't say opaqueness. We have subversion, lies, opacity, of surveillance, of distrust, of mistrust, of lordship, of rulership, of ownership of the people. Not by the people, of the people. We have a group of leaders who are entitled to our labor. We have a group of leaders who are entitled to our taxes. We have a group of leaders who are entitled to our votes, to our treasure, to our allegiances, our political ideologies. We have two political parties that are fictions. They're legal fictions that exist outside of every rule that exists. Google cannot give $10 million to a politician and say, I want you to do this for your campaign. Google can provide $10 million of services to politicians, but they can't coordinate with their campaigns, right? The RNC and the DNC can. In fact, I believe they're the only organizations in America that can do this, and they are not government entities. Everybody thinks the RNC and the DNC are government entities. They're private, nonprofit organizations that take money and channel it directly into political campaigns well outside the bounds of any spending law, and they directly coordinate with them on messaging, on platform, on vote gathering, on fundraising, on fund distribution, on everything. It would violate the law for any other entity to do that. But we have allowed this cancer to fester because the people who write the laws write the exclusions, and the exclusions benefit the people who write the laws. This is not the government we were given. It's the government people, opportunists, and monsters took from us. And then they showed it to us and said, this is what you wanted. This is what you got. This is the best one. It's the most free. We're actually for you. It's so democratic. Sure, fags. Sure it is. All right, with that, we're going to get over to Rumble here. I'm going to read some super chats and we'll get off of YouTube. We'll get on Rumble and we'll keep going. Jason of TGA says, Jesus given discernment will see us all through the storm. We're going to be just fine. John S. I've liked Candace Owens, but her defense of the attack on Russell Brand is worrisome. By the way, love Shadiversity taught himself to shoot a bow. 1 per 6 seconds. Cool. Like fire a bow once every 6 seconds. That's awesome. Sarn Zero. I was subbed to the Scala Gladiatoria for 12 years and unsubbed him when I heard this. Shadiversity is an awesome channel. Yelled like a Viking. Macacolations. I don't know how to say that word. Icon of Sin. I still exist. Love you, Nick. Did you play Star Sector? No. I haven't played anything in a year, pretty much. John S., speaking of comedians, I still remember when George Carlin did a grape skit. Audience booed until he made it about Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny. Then they cheered. John S. said, Ford Escape. Wasn't that what Brooks drove? Yes. John S. says, as far as I know, the most controversial take Shad had was saying the fight scene in Last Jedi sucked and that Rey was an overpowered girl boss. Grifty says, who said chivalry was dead? Gunner, first domino, guy in England rants about pronouns in video game. Last domino, second battle of the Tower of London, 2027. Contrarian, 420. This is 1/18th speed Iago. Battle Elf, they should start a new society of the gay blades. Patrick Banks, hippity hoppity, women are property. Metatron, quoting Metatron. Whoo. The Iceman 101418 says it's hilarious because Metatron talks just like this in his videos and even funnier in his rants. He's fairly based, attacking woke history constantly. And Candace Owens Golden Bidet says, Nikki mad, another Daily Wire host who is richer than you? Yes. As always. As always. Okay. That's the end of YouTube. We're going to go to, whatchamacallit? We're going to go to Rumble now. We'll see you over there in just a moment, I hope. If you, the link's in the description on YouTube. It's also in the pinned comment. If you do not follow over to Rumble, first of all, I would encourage you to do so. Rumble is becoming increasingly more important to the video creator ecosystem, and YouTube is becoming equally or proportionally dangerous to video creators who could be dispelled over an accusation from however long ago it needs be for people to not be able to look into it. So make sure you check out Rumble from time to time. See if it's to your liking yet. If not, I get it. And we'll see you here tomorrow. Tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Central will be another video or another live stream. And we'll figure out exactly what to do. I may have guests. I may not. I haven't decided yet. I'm hesitant to bring on a bunch of guests right after I'm gone for a while because I don't, I know people get used to me doing stuff on the channel, and I hate coming back and doing like very specialized or niche guest content that may not appeal to everybody when we all know that I appeal to everybody on earth. And so I like to give you as much of me as possible. Just sometimes, it's not always adequate. It's not my fault. I'll find the pills. Okay. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. Cunt. We'll see you tomorrow. And, or we'll see you in a few minutes, a few seconds over on Rumble. Catch you in just a bit. Peace. Peace.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen,